Greetings and welcome everyone to Toki Tori 2 Plus, and this game is just phenomenal. This may or may not be the greatest game that I have done a first impressions of in this entire series of first impressions. If I had to sum up Toki Tori 2 Plus, it is a puzzler game that's also a Metroidvania, and it's just brilliant how they've managed to execute this game. I really do quite love it. So basically, it's a puzzle game, and it's also done in a side-scroller fashion. So what you need to do is, you need to go around the world and find these puzzles and solve them in order to get these little toads onto these areas. So you see here, we've got two toads placed right now. We've got a big heavy toad and we've got a fire toad, and they're now putting water onto this little heart jewel thing. Now what we need to do in order to beat the game is we need to pick up those. So you can see here we've already got 2 out of 5. And the way you pick these up is sort of like, if you've ever played The Legend of Zelda, you'll remember how you go through the dungeons and you pick up certain items and all that. Well, you beat up enemies, and then at the end of it you get this big important item you need to progress further into the game. It's sort of like that. It's really quite interesting. So what you need to do is you need to go through these dungeons and pick up these, well, I suppose you could call them dungeons. You go through these dungeons and you pick up these animals, and well, you don't pick them up, you guide them through the levels by solving puzzles, and then you just lead them to the eventual little tube where they go onto that big jewel thing, and then you have completed that temple. It's really quite simple and genius. And now what's really clever about this game is that there are no tutorials. Everything you learn in this game is through like your own personal exploration, and which is really good because it's a Metroidvania sort of game. So you learn and you discover and you feel smart by playing this game. It's quite brilliant. That also does lead to like those moments where you're like, what the hell is even going on anymore? I have no idea. But that's just part of the thing. That's part of the appeal, and I am in love with this game. So let's talk about this little bird right here that's making a little song. If we press a button on the Xbox 360 controller, we can just make a little noise like that. And so we repeat, oh, we notice like he's doing that. How did he get that big little note? We hold it down, we get that. So now we can just repeat his little musical song, and then we learn through that by exploration how to use that little song. And by doing that, we've now gathered a new sort of power so that we can move through the world. So now that we've moved through here, let's just pop down here. So the way that the puzzles work is that you have these two buttons that you can press, really. You have A, which does that, and then B, which is a stomp. Now, what's really interesting is that using these two combinations of buttons allows you to solve all the puzzles in the game. You do not pick up any other items that help you solve the puzzles at all. Throughout the entire game, there's not one more item you pick up that will be like, oh, you have to use this in order to get through this level. No. What's interesting is that the way that they've done the Metroidvania stuff is that, okay, so in like Metroid, Super Metroid, you would say pick up the morph ball to get through this little hole, and then you would go from the little hole to pick up this like missile blaster to open up a specific door. Forget that. There are no items in this game. As soon as you learn something, you can restart the entire game and apply that to skip ahead early on in the game. So let's say, for example, early on in the game, there's this section where I don't know what to do, but then later on in the game, I figure out that it's actually something important, and I can go through that later on in the game. So I can skip like sections of the game just by knowing what to do, and it's just really quite clever. So let me just try to re-explain that. So in Metroidvanias, you use items and weapons to get through sections of the game. In this, you solve puzzles, and because you only have 2 sorts of weapons or mechanics to use, you just use those to solve the puzzles, and that's how you get around. It's really quite clever, and I love it. Okay, so you see, you can interact with the environment like this stomp thing. You can use a teleporter, and that can push this bug through here, and it's really quite clever. So normally there would be like something actually here that we could touch, but if we just go through here, we'll actually get sucked up into here, and it'll take us to where the heavy is. And there we go, see? Just like that. So normally we would put that big frog through there, and then we would go through it, and then we would land up here. So now let's just teleport. Actually, no, we can't do that just yet. Okay, so we're going to fall down to the ground and have Mother Bird pick us up. Just look at this little bird. He's so cute. Okay, speaking of cuteness, this whole game is just adorable. Like, it is just so graphically impressive. It's kind of ridiculous. And the camera work is just phenomenal. They constantly zoom out and show you what's really important. They don't just stick to like this basic side scroll stuff. It's not like not Paper Mario, sorry, it's not like Super Mario where they just stick to the same stuff. No, they have like these little cinematic sorts of bits, which are really cool. And what's really nice is they don't ever take control away from you. It's a lot like, say, Half-Life, I suppose. Like, the only times you ever aren't with your character is when you like press pause. Like that. Like, that's when you aren't with your character, pretty much. But aside from that, yeah, it's fine, because you're always, like, here. Like, I am still with my little bird, and I can still do all of the interesting little songs that I could do before. See, I can still sing. Like, for example, there's actually a song that I've learned, which you can use to point out all the collectibles. So we can just use that, and it'll show us all the collectibles, which is really nice. Now, I'm going to go over here. Let's see if I can't just land in this little area there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to land at this little tower thing here. Now, you notice that there were two pathways here. Okay, or at least on the map you should have. Okay, so we've got one pathway here, which is fair enough. We can go through that one. Yeah, fair. Right, we could go through that doorway, and that will take us to the next section of the game. Or we can just carry on and try and solve a different puzzle in a new area. So let's see what is around here. Oh, we've got another Mother Bird picking us up. Oh well. Okay, so it looks like we can't actually solve that one. Actually, I'm not even sure if I've come through here. Okay, so now we've got these little collectible gear pieces here. Those aren't really that important, but they're somewhat interesting. Okay, here we are. Alright, so we've got little Mother Bird here who is really passionate about making sure that she picks me up. And now we have to use that to our advantage, I suppose, and try and just avoid her, or avoid them, or have them pick us up, I suppose. Either or, really. Oh, look, a little molly guy. Okay, so this mole guy is actually pretty useful. He'll open up new pathways for you to quickly go back and forth between areas, so that's really interesting. So if you get stuck on a specific area and you want to go somewhere else, oh, look at that. See, look at this very nice little art style. It's great. So now let's look at our little songs that we have. Now, if you, to continue on with the Ocarina of Time, or sorry, Legend of Zelda sort of references, in the Legend of Zelda, you have a musical instrument that you can play to activate something, and that's basically what this is. Your songs are. You have these little things that you can use, and you can find out what the hell's going on. So now there's a song we can use to see the big map, which is big, big, little, little, big, big. And then after we sing that, now we can see where we need to go. Alright, so we've got all of these environments here, and that's where the ones with the yellow feathers are where we've been. So I've completed the mountain temple, and now I need to go somewhere else. This game is just, it's really quite interesting in how it's really laid out. Because it's a Metroidvania, you can go wherever you want, and you can do whatever you want. You can solve a puzzle, and if you get stuck on the puzzle, you can just go do a different temple or something like that. You can just go about. It's fantastic. So now let's see what's around here. So I've completed that. Fairly certain I've completed that section as well. So we need to find a section which I haven't completed, which I think is this one over here. I'm willing to bet. So let's just walk through here. Okay, let's spawn here, and then let's just continually go left and see if we can't figure out a way to go around here. Alright, so now the main story of this game is basically that there's this big evil sludge here that seems to be pretty evil, and it's messing up our town, so we need to figure out what the hell's going on with it and how to put a stop to it. So we've got our main guy, Toki Tori, here, and we need to figure out what's going on. Alright, so now, okay, so, normally, you would just be up here, right? And you would go like, okay, well, here's the end of the level. I suppose that's it. I'm done playing with this level. That's it, okay? But see, because it's a Metroidvania, as you progress through the story in a linear way, you actually are taught new items or new ways to use your current ability. So if we go into water, we can then shock this dude up here. Well, we should be able to anyway, actually. But yeah, so it teaches you how to play the game through the environment. And that's what really makes it clever, is that you learn this stuff through the environment, and then you get to apply it into like the actual game, and you get to like go back to the old levels and be like, oh, so that's how you were supposed to do that. That's really clever. Because because it doesn't like restrict you. So you think, oh, just after a while you'll just give up, and which you normally do, but it's just, oh, it's brilliant. So there we go. We've now just, wow. Wow, it was still alive. Oh dear, that is not, that's not good. But yeah, so you can see there. Normally you would see this all and you would be like, okay, so that's the end of the level, I'll just progress. But because there's this water pit here, later on in the level, later on in the game, they would teach you through the environment in the level that you can shock these enemies by stomping on your ground with them. But because you didn't know that at that point, you just figured, oh well, that's the end of the level, they must be trying to just stop me there. So you would continue on, and that's just what's really great about this game. It's just, oh, it's just so clever in its level design. It is brilliant. I just love it to bits. Love it to bits. Okay, there we go. Bring you over here, and here's actually something clever that I really, really like. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be good. Okay, so oh, you guys gonna like this, I can tell. I know you guys, you like this. It's a freaking disco. I just love it to bits. Oh, I destroyed it. Oh, there we go. Can I destroy it? Whoa. Is that a teleporter up there? I think it is. Can I actually manage to scare the bird through it? Nope. What's that dubstep it was starting to play? Toki Tori 2 dubstep. I'm leaving this place. Okay, yeah, no, we are not going, we are boycotting that place now. Dubstep, disgusting. That is so goofy. This game in general is just so damn goofy. It is amazing, and I love it to bits for how unique it is. So, you got like this crazy stuff like the art style and just the gameplay, and it's just, oh, it's just out of this world how good this game is. So I really like this game. The cinematography, the learning how to play the game through the level design, it's all just ridiculously awesome. Have I beaten this section before? I don't even know if I have. It looks familiar. I think I have. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so there are lots of interesting little things you can do here in this game. It is very simplified. It's got a very basic sort of thing, so you don't have much in the way of options, of course. So you can see here it's got, you know, your maximum resolution. That's about as much as it's straightforward as it gets. Like even in the options menu, like it still will be relatively like not straightforward. Like it will be like, oh, 3 Dragon Ball blue things is like it's bad, but then it's like 1, 2, 3, and that means higher and lower, or at least I think it does. And so that's alright. It's simple but effective, I suppose. There's also this, which will teach you how to play the actual game, which is about the most tutorial you'll get, really. And here are the credits, which are fine, really. Normally I'm a big person who likes to complain about credits or compliment credits, but well, these are okay. The audio scrolling is a bit slow, but overall they're fine credits. But yeah, so it's just this game, how simple it is just, I just love it to pieces, because you can solve every single puzzle in this game with just 2 buttons, and I just died. And on that note, I suppose I should probably end it. So, yeah, it's just great. What was is that it? Hold on. I need to figure out what the thing is for the, oh, right. There we go. Okay, now let's just get scooped on up. There we go. And, so now we can, oh, wait, damn it, I avoided it. You can actually get an achievement for that if you avoid the bird when it's about to pick you up. Alright, so I suppose I should show you how some of the basic gameplay works. Okay, so let's just, let me just take you back over here for a little bit, and I'll show you what it does. Okay, so we have a frog here, and we have a little grape berry thing. Now, what's interesting here is to note that this frog will interact with that berry. The way that it does is that on site it will go to eat the berry grape thing, and then it will turn it into a bubble, or it will turn it into, I need to get rid of that. Okay. Whoops. No. I need to get rid of that. I need to get the berry down there. Okay, yeah. on sight, this frog will eat the berry, and then it will get all full, and then it will decide to give you a nice little bubble of sorts, which is really nice of him. And then that will allow you to ascend further into a new area, which is very nice. Now, through interacting with the environment with our attacks, which is singing and stomping, we can interact with this little bubble guy, and then we can go even further. So now, when it comes to frogs and the berries, they do have very limited sorts of interaction, which makes the complex puzzles that you have to solve even more impressive. So let's just put that thing in there. So now, we've already been through this once before, but if I was to, now, once I go through here, I will be with this little guy. Now, normally there's a little frog here who will eat this little berry, and then you have to like try to trick the frog into going into here. That's how it basically works. And so that's really just the basic gameplay mechanics. And now from that, they've done several million like permutations and different sorts of gameplays, different sort of gameplay mechanics, or sorry, just different sorts of puzzles with those just few mechanics that it's just ridiculous how complex it has gotten. So yeah, the gameplay in this game is just phenomenal. The art style is beautiful and simple and gorgeous, and this is probably going to be one of my favorite games of this entire year. I haven't felt like this impressed by a game since like Half-Life 1 or something ridiculously long ago like that. Like, I just adore this game. Everything it tries to do, it does completely and utterly right. It's a Metroidvania in the best sort of way. It doesn't limit player progression. It doesn't have any sorts of invisible force fields. It's just you, a puzzle, and your brain, and a few mechanics to solve it. It's really just a matter of thinking outside the box and occasionally thinking inside the box, which can get really annoying, because you'll be like thinking, oh no, that can't possibly be right, because that would be way too simple for this game, and then it's like, no, it was supposed to be a simple puzzle, which but whatever. That's Toki Tori 2 Plus. It is a great game. It's fairly simple. The options are limited, but they're good enough. They do have resolution, and I don't think they actually have any options for audio, which it seems a bit odd. But yeah, overall it's a great game, and I really do recommend you pick it up. It's ridiculously cheap right now. It released on the same day as the Steam Summer Sales, so it's like 34% off in a daily deal or something like that. So if you want to pick it up, I really do recommend you pick it up, because it's just brilliant. So thank you for sticking around, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and GG.